Hello! Some people have been wondering, what's that amazing poster behind you? It is The Little Mermaid. Oh, this is not my house. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, the thing actually says major paper for, but you're not writing a paper for the fourth project. You are doing a presentation. And as it says, I'm just going to talk through, the assignment and how it works. Basically, you're thinking through, looking back at all of the things you've learned about your field through, the semester, and thinking about what information would be useful to have your classmates know. And we will do, obviously, if we'd been in class together, we would do a bunch of presentations in person, but we're not doing that. So that means that you're going to be recording a video, probably on YouTube, but if there's some other way you want to make that happen, doesn't matter to me. So basically, you'll record your presentation of the information, and then you'll do a little writing about, like, how did it go, how'd you put it together, but not a whole, like, paper. So the most important thing is, for sure, to think about what you want your classmates to get out of your presentation. Like I said, what you actually want them to know. School projects very, very often have a hard time like having a real purpose, because it's always a pretend purpose, like write to Santa Claus about how gift production should be changed, like all that kind of stuff. In this case, like your purpose is real. Like you really are getting to share some information with your classmates that you actually think they could use. It would be good for them to know, and not just like blah, blah, blah. Here's what I talked about, although that could be fascinating. But yeah, you're really thinking about what it would be useful for them. And part of the way you'll know what's useful for them, and you'll also know that you're not just telling them stuff that they have already learned somewhere else, is that you will have a little pre-survey with your audience to see what they know and to see what they're interested in. And the reason, this is probably the most important component of this project, the reason that we do the pre-survey is so that you have a very real audience for this presentation. You have actual people, you know what's a lot about what they're like because you're part of that group, and you will know what they don't know before you do your presentation. So the pre-surveys that you'll give to everybody, a couple questions, everybody will answer each other's questions. The pre-surveys, then you design your presentation. And there's just, a lot of ways you can do that. I'm pretty open about how you want to do that. The last step of this is that after someone watches your presentation, there'll be a link right there to a post survey. That also helps to make this much more authentic than it might otherwise be, right? So you're going to design a presentation based on what your classmates don't know. And then you're going to check in with them and see, do they know that now? Or what have they learned through your presentation? What were you hoping they would get out of it? And then what did they actually get out of it? So you are, this is a setup for sure, like teachers often do when they do like, what do you, pre-test, teach a bunch of stuff, test at the end, right? But it's also similar to a lot of other fields. If you were in sales, for example, then you definitely would be writing, you might be writing stuff to learn about your customers, right, in different ways and get feedback from customers, regardless of your field. Okay. So again, the components of this, I know it's complicated. The components are design a pre-test, like a pre-survey for your classmates to fill out. Based on what they say there, design your presentation. Do your presentation video. And finally, have the people who watch your presentation fill out a post survey that will let you know, did they get what I wanted them to get out of this? Which will enable you to do a little bit of writing, about how the presentation fulfilled or didn't fulfill your expectations and that kind of stuff. Okay. A few things about requirements. Your presentation must be at least 5 minutes long. Most people end up with like 5 to 10 slides. I know this is different since we're not usually do this in person. But yeah, at least 5 minutes, no longer than 7 minutes. You want to persuade your classmates, to inform your classmates. And as I said in the handout, it doesn't hurt to entertain them. Entertain us. The information that you present, however, needs to be information from your field that you have found. And good point for me to throw in, do you have to do more research? You don't have to. If you want to, knock yourself out. But you can use the research you've done up to this point. Sorry. Common concerns. I don't have 5 minutes of things to say. I feel like this will be easier the way I've done it for this class, that like everything in your Google Doc is your resource for giving more background or different ways we could look at this, right? I don't want to present on my topic. Like I said, you can do more research if you want about a whole new thing that you want to tell people about, but you also can choose anything along the way that you learn some about to present on. And then, as I said, there will be some final reflection stuff to do on the class and on your presentation. But there is no final exam in this class. There are no final exams in any English classes. There is final pieces of writing. And I have set up the class so that the end is the easiest part. I mean, I hope. That was my... that's always my hope, because you're tired, and especially this semester, you're like, and this is the easiest stuff to do at the end, in that your assignment to watch other people's presentations and just do little pre and post surveys also should be, I feel like, as often, and I really think will be interesting, quick, and like low stakes for you, right? So the final assignment to watch other people's presentations is like pretty easy, chill thing to do. Okay. That I think is all I will say right now about that project, but I wanted to make sure, since I hadn't seen you, you were able to listen to, think about, hear me talk through the final project, so you weren't anxious about that. So I hope this is helpful.